The question is, how do we actually get Iran to not have a nuclear weapon? That's really where we're at.
Well, functionally, we did it, with these strikes. I mean, what he did was a courageous move, and working in concert with our special partner, Israel, we let them pummel them, take out their air defenses, and then we swoop in the way only we can with these B-2 bombers and these special massive ordnance penetrators, and we deal with the situation. So it was great tactically. Ultimately, the only way to get Iran to stop seeking a nuclear weapon, I suppose, would be if the people of Iran rose up and tossed these butchers out and got themselves a new government. I'm not suggesting that we should be involved in that, but you would hope someday that the people of Iran would decide to have, something more like a normal government where, you're not constantly trying to get nuclear weapons to bring about the end of the world, which is effectively what they're constantly trying to do. But today is a great day for America. It's a great day for Western civilization.
Scott, my problem is the Trump administration is taking a victory lap as if they're the only ones who planned this. And I understand he took the action, but this action was planned by the military for multiple administrations. You just said yourself, Israel has been pummeling Iran because the Biden administration was providing weaponry for them to do so. So I will say, it's just amazing to me
plans
that
are only
it lasts multiple administrations.
And so, occasionally the correct answer is just
rolled the dice.
Good job, President Trump. Well done. Occasionally that's the right answer.
But he rolled the dice. We don't know how this is going to end. Is this going to bring about peace? I'm not sure. If you want to say tonight, for sure, 100%, it's peace. I'm actually willing to kind of look at that bet, because over the course of time,
you're hoping for something else?
No, I'm not. Over the course of time, history will tell you that when I went around the world with President Obama, these other countries are planning in 100-year plans, and we are looking at 2- and 4-year plans. And what I'm saying is this military strike was many years in the planning by our very capable military. And
here is because those pilots, those B-2 pilots, did an unbelievable job. And, the fake news, like CNN in particular, they're trying to say, well, I agree that it was destroyed, but maybe not that destroyed. You know what they're doing? They're really hurting great pilots that put their lives in the line. CNN is scum, and so is MSDNC. They're all. And frankly, the networks aren't much better.
Reports coming from the region suggest that the sides accuse each other for violating the ceasefire. So
I think they both violated it. I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it. So as soon as I get away from you, I'm going to see if I can stop it, okay?
How confident are you in the ceasefire agreement? Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. When I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Okay, so you have it right there. My boy Trump dropped a very nasty sounding F-bomb. I love the way he dominates the media. Good morning to you all. Trump is he's Trump. He's in rare form. He understands that dropping the F-bomb will take a lot of the attention away from what actually happened, and it will bring the attention to his choice of words. What I want to let you guys know is basically what happened with this situation is Iran launched a bomb at Israel following the ceasefire that officially started at 1:08 a.m. this morning, Eastern Standard Time. So we've been a part of the ceasefire for, what would I say, 108, it's in New York. It's been about 10 hours. It's been about 10 hours, 10 almost 12 hours that we've been in the ceasefire. And it seems like the ceasefire has already been violated. But what I want people to understand is that violating a ceasefire does not end a ceasefire, right? As long as both sides still agree to maintain the ceasefire is still in effect, right? So Iran launched a bomb at Israel. Israel intercepts the ballistic missile. It doesn't hit anything. Israel then turns around and releases a freaking huge payload of ballistic missiles on to Tehran, right? Now, in this situation, I'm going to have to say Israel was wrong, right? Iran, they are whooped. They are a whoop dog. They don't really have there's nothing they can really do to Israel or anyone else. They launched an attack at the U.S. base in Qatar yesterday. Not a single one of their ballistic missiles actually reached the base. They were all intercepted. They were all destroyed. And Donald Trump basically made fun of Iran. So Iran is like trying to save face. They have nothing they can do to hurt Israel or the United States at this point. The United States just went up in their country undetected by them or their Russian and Chinese allies, destroyed their nuclear enrichment facilities. And so now Iran has admitted, like, yo, ceasefire, we're surrendering, right? Now, what I want you to point out, right? What I want to point out is this. Every single thing, people like Jakari, people like Hamza Ali, people like Odanani, these are all my buddies, but they've just been wrong about everything they've said. Because when I announced last night that there was a ceasefire, they said there wasn't a ceasefire. When I said that that Iran didn't have a chance in hell at beating the United States or Israel in a war or a fight, they said, no, Iran has a secret weapon and they're going to kick the United States ass and they're going to kick Israel's butt. And if the United States tries to intervene, China and Russia are going to jump in, and then the United States is going to be in trouble. None of what they said has actually come true. But everything that I've been saying, and I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I'm getting information from people who know way more than me about the situation. Everything that I've been saying has come true. I said there was a ceasefire. They said there's no ceasefire. I said Tehran or Iran has agreed to the ceasefire. Well, this outlet said that they didn't agree. 2 hours later, Iran comes out acknowledging that they admitted to a ceasefire. This is all I'm telling you. 100% Iran did not beat Israel. Iran did not. See, and this is what we do. We engage in just lies. Now, the record is showing, well, people are saying Iran beat Israel. No, they didn't. They got bombarded. Israel took over okay. If Iran beat Israel, how did their nuclear enrichment sites get destroyed? If Iran beat Israel, how did Israel put spies in their country who launched missiles from the ground in their own country, hitting targets? Wait a minute. Let me look this up. Let me get this number for you. Let me get this this number for you. Okay, here we go. Now, these are numbers from Iran. This is AI. You got what? Just because you want something to be true does not mean that it's true. So I'm gonna put this right here. This is the comment. Iran definitely beat Israel, but not America. If Israel was winning, why did Israel call America for backup then? You mean then? You didn't even need a then or then. Just put, why did Israel call America for backup? Because Israel needed America's bombs. The MOP bombs, Israel doesn't have those. They don't even have aircraft that can carry those bombs. That's why they needed to call America. It was very clear. If you just paid even basic attention to what was going on, you would know that. This is from Iran's reporting. At least 3 of Iran's top military leaders, including the chief of staff of the armed forces, Mohammad Bagheri, have been killed in recent Israeli strikes. Several other senior commanders of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and nuclear scientists have also been killed. Iranian officials reported that at least 430 people, including military commanders, have been killed since the conflict began on June 13th. Okay, 430 people dead. A bunch of your nuclear scientists are dead, the people you need to enrich the uranium. And I think like 10 or 12 of your high-ranking military leaders are dead. Now tell me how many Israeli leaders have died. So you've lost 430 people. Let's look up how many Israelis have died. We already know no Israeli generals or officials have died. We already know that. Hold on. Sources suggest that Al Jazeera reports that 28 people have been killed in Israel from Iranian strikes. So 28 or 29 Israeli civilians have died. 430 Iranians have died, including many of their top-ranking military and political officials. And you're calling that a win for Iran? Are you crazy? But this is what I want you guys to understand. Now the guy's telling me, now the goalpost moves. Brandon, please educate yourself in the Middle East, brother. This is sad. You're Israel's Zionist shield. I can't shield Israel from anything. No, I'm a black man who would not dare risk my integrity and to speak dishonestly to make you feel good. That's what I am. I'm not going to lie to make you feel good. The people who watch me, they rely on me to get the facts. If what you say conflicts with the facts, no matter how I may personally feel about the situation, I'm going to point out the facts and I'm going to call you a liar. Life, that is exactly what you are, a liar. There's no way you won a conflict if you lost 430 people, a bunch of nuclear scientists that you really need right now, and you lost over a dozen military leaders, high-ranking officials who you need to command your forces. You didn't win, you just lost. One day you'll become a man, God willing, and you'll be able to tell the truth, even when it doesn't feel good. Today's not that day. Today could be that day, but I doubt it. So this is what we got going. So basically, now I've already said I've already said that I think in this situation, even though Iran launched the first missile after the ceasefire was over, Iran actually denied launching the missile, right? So I really don't know. Shit, this could have been Israel launching a missile at themselves, just to have an excuse to go and launch missiles at Iran. But allegedly, Iran launched a missile after the ceasefire, a single missile that didn't hit anything and it didn't hurt anyone. In response, Israel drops this humongous payload of missiles on Iran. In this situation, I have to say, I believe Israel is wrong. We don't have confirmation that Iran dropped that missile. You're saying they did, but we know Israel has done funny stuff before to excuse them going crazy on other countries. Who knows? We'll find out. At the same time, even if Iran did launch the missile, right? Israel has won this conflict hands down with the help of the United States of America. There's no need to aggress further against Iran. They've surrendered. They've given up. They've announced that the leaders in Iran have announced that they've agreed to the ceasefire, which entails a total surrender. Odanani, I hope your mic is working properly, because I'm going to give you the opportunity to come up and get cooked. But this is me. I have no problem saying what I truly think or feel. If you guys don't know, Jewish people got my channel demonetized. And I'm still going to tell the truth about what I think in this instance. Now, last night, I believe Iran was totally wrong yesterday. But following that ceasefire, I have to say, look, Israel overreacted. But what I will commend Israel for, right, is they are apparently listening to Trump. I'm not going to play all the videos, but I'm going to show you the headlines. They're listening to Trump. He got pissed off. Trump started cursing. Israel is controlling America. If Israel was controlling America, why would the American president be telling Israel that they need to cut that shit out? If Israel was controlling America, why would the American president be telling Israel that they need to turn their planes around? And they're actually doing it. I keep telling you guys, no matter what the internet conspiracy guy keeps telling you, the guy who does no research but just talks, Israel is the proxy of the United States. 3 hours ago, the Times of Israel, Trump insists Israel won't attack Iran. All planes will turn around and head home. Boom. That was 3 hours ago, right? It says, friendly plane wave. Israel defies Trump's ceasefire plan, launches more missiles at Tehran, which that was them reporting about what happened before this was said, that the planes would turn around. Now, Newsweek, 4 hours ago, Trump says Israel turning jets around, friendly plane wave. So as far as we know right now, Israel turned the planes around and the planes went back to Israel. That's the latest news that we have. So they stopped. Iran doesn't seem to be doing anything else. And so it looks like the ceasefire is back in effect, which is fine. You guys, we have to give Donald Trump nothing but praise. He didn't take the path of a warmonger. He didn't say, ooh, the United States can make a bunch of money selling weapons to Israel and selling weapons to both sides in this conflict. He doesn't want war. That alone puts him, in my opinion, head and shoulders above Obama and Biden and every other Democrat and Republican president of the 20th century. He wants peace. He pulled out of Afghanistan. He ended that conflict. He said that the Russia-Ukraine conflict would be ended in days if he were president. Vladimir Zelensky proved that he really doesn't want peace by continuing to agitate Russia. And instead of signing the peace agreement, the ceasefire deal, he instead chose to try to use the opportunity as a chance to recruit or to garner more American support for his failing military. So they're still fighting, but I think they're on the verge of a deal as well. But a major conflict that erupted between Israel and Iran has basically ended in a matter of days. In less than 2 weeks, Iran's nuclear program has been destroyed, and we are looking at a ceasefire that, as of right now, it appears that Israel and Iran are honoring. Now, if you listened to what was said when the ceasefire was announced, Trump did say that Israel and Iran would finish up the rest of their operations. But at this point, it's just a matter of one country trying to get the last lick over the other country, right? And I honestly believe what Israel did was like that extra little shove at the end of a fight once both parties know that the fight is over. Because Israel's taking this shit personally. So I understand why they would do what they did. But for doing that, they are 1,000% wrong. At that point, you're just kind of being a bully because you know you got the United States on your side. You already convinced the United States to put belt to ass, right? And I honestly believe that Israel was the one who was used by the United States to set up the destruction of the nuclear facilities. Everyone thinks that it's Israel using the United States. I truly believe it was the United States using Israel. And if you look at dudes like Nick Fuentes, you look at the smart money, they all agree the same thing. I believe that the United States recruited Israel, made them do their job, go in, soften up the target, get intelligence about what's happening on the ground, and soften them up so we can bring those B-52 bombers in and drop a huge payload on Iran and destroy their nuclear facilities. But the United States made it look like Israel was asking them, please help us. United States has been wanting to get rid of those nuclear facilities. Donald Trump specifically. And can I tell you something else? If you understand Trump, Trump has a long-term memory. You think Trump forgot that Iran tried to assassinate him? Let's be real. Do you think Trump forgot that Iran tried to assassinate him twice? Do you think Trump forgot what happened with Soleimani? That Iran attempted to attack, or they didn't attempt, they attacked a U.S. military base under Trump's watch? No. To me, this was all payback for Trump. If you ask me, Trump had this crap planned from the very beginning of his presidency. He just needed to figure out a way to do it to make it look like he wasn't a warmonger. That's what I honestly believe. And he did it. And I believe the world is better off for him doing it. You can say whatever you want to say. But what I want to point out beyond this is this situation brings it, man, if you really look at this situation, the United States basically put the world on notice. We're stronger than you. We have more military capability than you. We have the highest military budget in the world. We have technology that is light years ahead of anything the rest of the world has. And it's not even close. It's not even close. My question is, the more the United States fights, I mean, my assertion is, the more the United States fights, the more they prove to have a strategic advantage over everyone else on the planet. If you really look at it for what it is. I know that's hard for a lot of you, but we got this thing called the B-52 stealth bomber. Or is that what that's called? Or is that called the RF? What is this called? Is this B-52 stealth bomber? I think that's what this is. Oh no, B-2. We got this B-2 stealth bomber. The B-2 Spirit. Don't get me confused, but I think this B-2 stealth bomber, right? And what I want to look up is I want to look up exactly what plane. Hold on. And you guys probably know this. Okay, so I messed up. What I put? What pill? What plane? Oh yeah. So they use B-2 Spirit stealth bombers, right? So this is the plane that's behind me, right? So think about this, and I'm gonna put the link in the comments so you guys can come up and give your opinions. Dude, okay. Brandon is suspect is Iran. Brandon is too much for suspect. Funny. I heard dude got out of jail. No, it's the B-2. See, this is why we do research. I also thought it was the B-52. It is actually the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. And the B-52, I believe, is a different plane. B-52 stealth. Yeah. So the name of it is B-2 stealth bomber. The B-52 bomber is something different. So I also was calling it the B-52, but it's the B-2, guys. The B-2. The B-52 is the Strato Fortress. It is also a long range bomber, but it basically went out of use in 2007. This thing it stopped being used basically in 2007. So so let's just walk away with that clarity. It's the B-2 Spirit bomber. Spirit stealth bomber. So if we get in an argument with white folk, we don't want to be saying, oh, they use the B-52 bomber, and then they laughing at us because we don't know the name of the plane used. Okay? That's what we need to know. Okay, so anyway, the point I'm making here is this. They flew what I believe was over 120 aircraft, right? They flew over 100 in. Let me see. How many B-2 let me see. I'm going AI mode. Seven. They flew 7 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers into Iran. Over 125 U.S. military aircraft were used to carry out the mission. And here goes, and they flew from Missouri halfway around the world, right? But I want you guys, I want you guys to really just grasp this with your brain. It's early, right? Here's my coffee. It's black, like me, and it's tasting good. Listen to me. Why didn't China or Russia, why were they not able to detect those planes entering the space of their ally, Iran? Why were China and Russia not able to detect these planes leaving Missouri? They were not able to detect these planes flying 18 hours. They were unable to detect these planes flying in the air for 18 hours before they dropped their payload in Iran. They were not able to detect these planes as they flew through Iran, dropped payload, exited Iran, and Iran later on realized, damn, we got hit by America. You guys keep telling me how powerful China and Russia are. You guys keep telling me how amazing they are, and when they team up, they're going to beat the United States in a war. They're going to kick our butt. They have advanced technology, all this crap. Well, why wasn't their advanced technology able to detect these 7 humongous planes or the 125 aircraft that were involved with helping these planes execute their objective? That's my question to you. Why were they not? These planes had to refuel in midair. Why wasn't China and Russia, with their amazing tech, why were they not able to detect that? They never saw it coming. And then my brother from another mother across the pond, he says who? Says the fact that the bombs were dropped. Says the fact that the facilities were destroyed. If Iran is your ally, why didn't you warn them? Hey, the United States is flying some humongous planes with some major ordnance into your airspace. You need to be ready. Iran never knew these planes were coming. And you could tell yourself the facilities were empty and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I'm sure they weren't. If your General Soleimani got killed by a random drone that was floating over you as he landed at the airport, why were you unable to detect that? But I really don't expect Iran to have this type of capability. But you guys are telling me that China is this big bad gangster, this big bad wolf that has all this superior technology. And they got this, Brandon. They got hypersonic missiles. Well, where were they? Where were they? I'm just using common sense. I'm just asking common sense questions. You're telling me that China and Russia are so powerful that the United States basically flew the equivalent of some countries' entire air force into Iran, and they never saw it coming? Do you understand that these countries have radar that could detect stuff all the way around the world? These dudes have satellites in space. China has satellites in space. Russia has satellites in space. Please tell me why they were unable to see these US B-2 Spirit bombers, 7 of them, fly into Iran. And they crossed through they went over so many other countries. They crossed over oceans where Russian ships are sitting, Chinese ships are sitting. Why were they unable to see these planes? Why? It's exactly what we've always known it to be. The United States of America is the premier military force on the planet. And it's not even close. And I've said this many times. You guys argue with me because it hurts your feelings, and that's okay. But what we're not going to do, my people, and when I say my people, I mean all the people watching my content, what we're not going to do is lie to ourselves. Because when you spew these type of lies, the first person you're lying to is yourself. Lying to yourself doesn't help you. Honesty is the key. I want to show y'all something that's funny because I know y'all don't know. And if you hate this channel and this channel sucks, this channel is boring, you know what? At least you got an education. At least you learned. Maybe Jakari should watch this channel every morning so he can learn. And learn how to truly break down information in a righteous way. I want to show y'all something. We got the map out. I love the part of this part of the show when we break out the map. Guys, listen. Here's Iran. Right? Here's Iran. Boom. Here's Tehran, the capital of Iran. Okay. From what I think, this is what I think. I could be wrong. Those nuclear installations, let's get accuracy. Where were Iranian nuclear installations located? So they had Natanz. I'm not immediately seeing the location of these places. I don't know where it is. But you guys might know. Wherever it is, it doesn't matter. This is Iran, right? Okay, cool. Now, let me show you how close China is to Iran. Because all this stuff is really sitting on the Asian continent. They don't like to admit it, but America flew onto the Asian continent. Iran is one country, Afghanistan, 2 countries, Pakistan too. Iran is right here. How far apart? And this is how I do my research. How far apart you can drive from Iran to China? How far apart are Iran and China in miles? China and Iran are 2,969 miles apart. That's basically like driving from California to Georgia. That's basically like driving from California to the state of Georgia. Like think about this. From California to Georgia. So you can drive from Iran to China in 3 days or less. Truck drivers drive 3,000 miles in like 2 days, 2 or 3 days, maybe less. So you're telling me China is supposed to be a technologically advanced country, and they couldn't detect B-2 Spirit bombers less than 3,000 miles from their border. You can say, hey, you're this and you're that. These are facts. Tehran is less than 3,000 miles away from China, and China could not detect B-2 Spirit stealth bombers 3,000 miles away from their border. Now, the worst part is, if you go right up top here, Moscow, which is in Russia, right here, you can drive from Moscow to Tehran, right there. Moscow's right there. Russia is a little bit well, technically, if you think about it, Russia is super close to Iran. Let me look up how far Russia is away from Iran. Russia is the shortest distance between Iran and Russia, specifically between Tehran and Moscow, is 1,531 miles. The flight time between Tehran and Moscow is only 3 hours. So you can get from Tehran to Moscow faster than you could get from LA to New York. If you want to drive, it's 39 hours. That's to Moscow, though. But the tip of Russia is so close. Are the closest points. Okay. This is even crazier. So that's from one major city to another, from one capital to other. The closest 2 points between Russia and Iran, if you wanted to just drive from Russia and you just wanted to step foot into Iran, right, for a second, the closest point at that point would be 372 miles. You can drive from Russia to Iran in 2 hours, about 4 hours. You can take a car and drive from Russia to Iran in 4 hours, if the roads permit. That's like from Los Angeles to Vegas. The reason I'm bringing this up is people need to understand how close the United States actually was to both Russia and China. They could have literally bombed the shit out of Iran and kept going and just bombed the crap out of China. And China would have never known. They could have went and flew and bombed the hell out of Russia, and Russia would have never known. So I don't want to hear this anymore about China and Russia are going to join the fight and they're going to beat up America. They know they can't beat America. America knows they can't beat America. And the bombing of the nuclear facilities in Iran proved it. You funny. People like you is why they want to blow us up. I bet we are. Because we rip off the veil of deception. Stop with this crap. Synthol freak, 100%. I agree with you 1,000%. It's possible, but it's unlikely. But it's unlikely due to America's diplomatic goals. If this was all-out war, America could launch nonstop attacks into Russia and China undetected, with even if they wanted with nuclear weapons. Let's be real. If a country can launch humongous missile attacks 300 miles from your border and you don't know, if a country could launch humongous missile attacks, the destruction of nuclear facilities 3,000 miles from your border, and you don't know, you're in trouble if you get in war, go to war with that country. Because clearly that country has some technology that you just ain't ready for. What up, Killer Cam?
Yo, what's up, Brandon?
Yo, what's up?
No, I just want to say, like, I mean, you're right for the most part, but I mean, I just got a few, things that I disagree with, obviously.
You have to disagree. I get it.
But China and Russia, man, they do good business. They do good business. They're networking. They're not. I mean, what has China done in the Middle East besides help other countries get money? You know what I mean? Meanwhile, we've been, authoritarians. I mean, you got to look at it how they see it, and at some point, you got to think metrically. Everyone's gonna have a nuke eventually. So, I mean, why not just be honorable like they are and think for the future rather than, 18 months from now when they can re-rich their uranium,
Listen, I don't know what that has to do with what I'm talking about, but what I'm trying to do is point out this fact. These people could talk tough, but the reality is they ain't ready. And the strike in Iran proved it. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No.
Should China and Russia not have been able to detect those planes so close to their border?
Yeah, they should have. You're right.
They're scared right now. They're shocked. I know I would be. I'm just speaking honestly as a man. I would be terrified if my foremost enemy was like, yo, we just dropped 30,000 pounds, 400,000 pounds of ordnance 300 miles off of your border and 2,900 miles off of your border. Would you not be freaking out?
Yeah, you're right.
I would be literally bringing all my scientists in a room and I would be going off on them. I would be screaming at them. My Joint Chiefs of Staff would be on the verge of getting fired right now. But I keep telling you guys, the paper tiger stuff is real. A lot of these countries look good on paper. But China, you can barely feed your population, and you want me to believe that you're leading the world in technological advancement. When we know all China does, what does China do, Killer Cam? Let's be real. What do China do?
That's a fair point with the for you. That's right. That's a funny and fair point with the what you just said right there.
But what do China do? All they do is steal IP, bro.
Yeah, I know
They steal other people's IP. They steal other people's ideas in intellectual property. They replicate. No. They attempt to replicate, but they can't innovate. They attempt to replicate, usually very poorly, but they never innovate.
Wait. See, but here's the thing. What you just said, I'm gonna be real with you, and 99% of the people listening will never understand this. But you said two words. You said two things that are relevant. You said intellectual property, and then you referenced them not having innovation. And I just want to point out to the 1%ers of those of us in the know that if you know anything about China, if you read any Chinese books, the first thing you know is they value intellectual property. And if whatever they do have, you're never going to know until they show it.
They ain't got shit.
I've read like all the Chinese books reference that you never, just like the Art of War, Sun Tzu, like you just never, you don't present to it. It's kind of why they told you don't tell people you're a black belt.
I believe that it's like how people think Bruce Lee could beat up Mike Tyson, right? It's all lore. There's not a lot of truth to it, but it's what people have been kind of programmed to believe because the propaganda was that strong. Now, can Bruce Lee beat up Mike Tyson? Hell no. That's why they made weight classes. Mike, fast, strong, in his prime, knocking shit. Bruce Lee is a formidable fighter as far as we were told. We've only really saw him fight in movies. I got videos showing a black dude blocking the shit out of Bruce Lee multiple times, right? And many martial artists say Bruce Lee wasn't the best martial artist even in his time. Mm-hmm. But the history reflects this idea that Bruce Lee was the greatest martial artist ever because he was in the Hollywood movies, and that did a lot for the growth of martial arts as a business, right? That's what I believe China is. That's what their culture is. Have you ever saw those videos of like the Chinese masters going up against like people in real fights? Like the guy has like all these thousands of students. He's not even touching them, and they're like falling on the ground. Like he just beat them up. Have you seen that before?
No, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. And then the guy fights a real fighter and he gets knocked out in like 10 seconds. You seen that stuff?
Yep.
That's basically what I believe China is. China, that sums up China culturally, other than the food's delicious. To me, that sums up China totally. We watch a lot of movies about these Chinese masters and stuff, but no one will ever know how these Chinese masters would stack up against, fighters from other places because they had an isolationist culture for thousands of years. Well, if I don't go around anyone, I can make everybody think I'm great and amazing. Let me tell you how cool I am, right? Let me tell you how cool I am. Has anyone witnessed how cool you are? No. But all these people who've been around me for years can tell you how cool I am. Yeah, but can you show us how cool you are? Well, let me show you. And then you get beat up, and now everyone's sitting around thinking, yo, this guy wasn't as cool as he said he was. And that's what China keeps proving. And this was one of those moments. Go ahead.
No, I'll just tell you where you're right at here. You're right. Well, I'll tell you where I agree with you at. I can't tell you whether you're right or not. But I agree with you as far as, the U.S. is the greatest country in the world. I feel like we're obviously, the most dominant country in the world. And honestly, I feel like the world is scared shit of us. I feel like, honestly, China and Russia do have like the economic ability to kind of go against us. But I feel like after 1945 in Japan, I just feel like people are scared shit, including the biggest powers. You know what I mean? And I feel like that'll be the table turner. And I feel like those bombs that were dropped on those nukes, like the war was over in 12 days. Nobody helped. I mean, it was just pure domination and devastation.
No, 100%.
So
100%.
That's why I agree.
Listen, let me show you something. And maybe I'll get banned for this. So you guys make sure you contribute to the stream. I'm gonna play something that's probably gonna get me demonetized, but I don't care. I don't do it for the money. But contribute to the stream if you're in a position to do so. This is China, guys. This is China. Look how amazing we are. We got all this chi going on, right? Check this out. We got all this chi going on, right? They launching spirit bombs. And, oh, they're just so right here. This guy's the perfect representation of China, right here. Look. I can't play the sound. But watch this. This guy, he's fighting his own students. He's doing magic. This is China. Well, in China, I don't even got to touch you. I don't even got to touch you, and I kick your ass, right? That's China. Look, guy's amazing, right? He's not even touching them, and he's kicking their ass. This is what United States citizens think that China will do to America. They're just gonna, he didn't even touch you. Look at this. But they're showing something real. Look at this guy. He's doing the Liu Kang spirit punch, beating this guy up, not even touching him, right? No, this people really believe in this crap. This is like stuff people like Jakari and all these dudes will believe in. They believe in this. But then he was challenged by a real MMA fighter. He's throwing spirit bombs. Knocked his ass out. 1 second. That's you. That guy is the United States. Listen, this guy in the black is China and Russia. And this guy with the white gi on is the United States. They gonna talk about it. We gonna be about it. Bam. Up. Put his ass right on his pockets. Put him right on his pockets. And this is basically what America did yesterday. The other day. Put their ass on notice. Oh, y'all playing, huh? Y'all think we playing, huh? Oh, China could do this and do this and do that. Nah. Because when the punches really start getting thrown, it ain't gonna be for play. And then this fool gets up and tries to come back. China got this submarine and China got this. No. Now, where's the chi? Where's the chi? Bro got cooked. I'm just keeping it real with you. You can play stupid games if you want to. But when them bombs really start dropping, you gonna know the truth. You gonna know what it is and what it ain't. Like my granny used to say, it's gonna tell on you before you tell on it. Oh, China gonna do this. Russia gonna do this. Well, why they didn't do it? Iran and China and Russia are allies. Why didn't they? I'm not saying you had to launch a missile at American planes. Why y'all didn't at least warn them? Answer that for me, music maniacs. Why didn't they at least warn them? Hey,
they're not up to date. They're not up to date with their stuff, man. Like you just made a whole, because you can look at this through like a few different angles, but you made a whole new like great point to where like, you know, America is like kind of showing its nuts. Like, hey, not showing its nuts, but like, hey, you know, like we're strong. Screw with all that Democrat crap for the last 4 years. Like we're strong. We're not the sissy fight. You know what I'm saying? And like they proved it. And so I don't know. Have you heard in 2020, Trump was doing an interview, I think ABC or something, and he pretty much said like Iran called him to tell him, hey, we're going to shoot these rockets off, but it's not going to not at any people or anything, just to save face for our country or whatever. Not necessarily a backdoor deal, but they knew it was coming. So like Korea, all these damn countries out there. The one that got hit yesterday,
Tehran?
Qatar.
Oh yeah.
Qatar got hit, but like no people got hit, but and not really. And they got rid of the missiles. You know, they shot them down. So you can look at it from that angle, like maybe Trump kind of had a backdoor deal in a way, or you know, because are you a and then I'll let you go because I'm outside. But are you or were you ever a WWF fan, wrestling fan?
When I was a little kid, yeah.
Like in the '90s stuff. So like WWE, they're fixing to have this pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia this weekend, and all the ever since this was going on, a lot of wrestling fans and all that, they were waiting for the WWE to come out and say, hey, we're going to postpone blah blah blah. That never happened either, so they're going to continue with as planned. So you keep that in mind. Like I'm not saying this is all one big
as usual.
Yeah, I'm not saying this is all one big fake thing, but like some of it could be, a little bit of theater. Another angle is like Trump did what Israel kind of wanted done, which, get rid of the facilities or whatever, or, bomb the exits in the entrances. So now Israel doesn't have to do anything. They got what you wanted, right? So Trump can play. I mean, you heard Trump this morning. He said he's trying to play both sides here and be fair to everyone. And, he's kind of calling out Netanyahu. There is a lot of haters with Israel and everything. Personally, I don't know. I mean, I'm hearing a lot, even conservative people online on Twitter. They're arguing. They've gotten into it with the Laura Luma chick and Tucker Carlson and others are getting into it. Look, MAGA's not a cult. I mean, that should prove it right here. I mean, you have, it's not necessarily a good look, but like, we want everyone to get along, but like, there's big conservative influencers kind of talking shit with each other, talking crap with each other, excuse my language. And, MAGA's not a cult. It's proving it right there, man. But love what you're doing. Hopefully, I'm glad we got you back on No Jumper. You know what I'm saying? And looking forward to all that content with you and then all the stuff on this channel too, man. Keep it going.
Do you think I should talk today about 607 quitting No Jumper?
Yes. Are you going to do like a separate live on that tonight?
I was thinking about doing the live later on this afternoon.
Yeah, hit that for us. Yeah, that's big.
All right, cool.
We woke up to a lot of stuff this morning. The Trump stuff.
Hey, did you become a member?
No, not yet.
All right, cool. Hey,
I'll be donating though.
No, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I'm just, so you guys, hey, shout out to my member Juggernaut 44. China ain't no bid, man. They got man-made islands for a reason. They getting ready. Bro, listen, I'm not saying China's anything. I'm saying China, it's like my granny used to say, you ain't got to be scared to get your ass whooped. I'm not saying China's afraid of America. I'm just saying when the rubber meets the road, they ain't messing with America militaristically.
I mean, real quick and I'll leave. Would you rather be the bully or would you rather be the biatch? You know what I'm saying?
The bully. I'd rather be online suspect.
Bottom line. God bless you guys. Talk to you later.
For sure. Hey, that suspect situation is a lot like this situation. You gonna let the little dogs bark, but then when you jump up and you get ready to do something, they're gonna run. And they're gonna try to pull out their inferior weapon. Oh my God, how could you? And then they're gonna come back to the table and say, man, I had to do that because look how strong they are. Look at these B-2 Spirit bombers they got. It's just like that. But I've always said, if you've been in this channel for a long time, I always said America allows people to think that they are weak because that works in their favor. Let's let people know. Let's let people think we're weaker than we are. So while they think we're weak, we're just building up our strength. America launched a stealth attack that destroyed 3 major nuclear facilities. What we would consider first world countries or major military powers could not even detect 7 humongous bombers on their continent. They didn't even detect the explosions until it was too late. Get the fuck out of here, man. Go ahead, Bishop. How you doing this morning?
Bless, man. Bless. No, man. Just understand if you read the Art of War and you understand where we're at, this is playing out exactly according to the Art of War. You have to be you got to understand this is not a short one. This is more a of making sure that we establish where we're at, establish that we're here to pounce when it's time to pounce. But the bottom line is hey, you got to know that people gonna pony up, and if that's the case, then the Art of War is going according to what we needed to go according, and we will seize the day and move forward.
Yeah, no, 100%. And if you if you read the Art of War, there's this part where it talks about remember in war you got to operate or remember that you're a guest, right? That means when you go into another country or another territory,
Yep.
you don't set up shop like you run in that place,
Right.
right?
Correct.
You get in, you get out. You maintain a low profile, efficient and strategic movement, and you maintain your self-awareness, and you remain flexible. The United States basically just gave a master class on Sun Tzu's Art of War. Everything they did. Know your enemy, maintain a low profile, be efficient and strategic, be prepared and be flexible, plan, adapt. You got to scout, appear weak when strong. Don't flaunt your strengths or resources unnecessarily, which could attract unwanted attention. Deception. When they flew those planes to Guam and had everybody thinking that they were going to launch the attack from Guam, but really the planes was already over there.
Exactly.
Come on, bro. You guys don't know about war. You don't know about fighting. I'm a fighter. I know about fighting. Okay? These people, most people trying to judge this never even threw a punch. But they know all of a sudden about what the United States is doing. If you read The Art of War, like I have 2 times, the United States just gave a master class on the Art of War, just like you said, right, Bishop?
Yeah, definitely. And let me expound upon it. Understand, I want everybody to understand I'm a theocracy independent. So with that said, I want for the United States to be able to establish their dominance and to actually have the ground roots be able to grow, and for us to be able to conquer all these giants that's been raving throughout these eons. So understand this is a part of it. And if you know the Israel and Iran situation, it's just been lingering on far too long. And so the way we went in there and handled our business and pulled out is perfect. If just like he said, when you read the Art of War and all the different moves we made, it's the blueprint of the Art of War.
Hey, 100%. But they don't care about that. These people care about their feelings. Sam Games, you're a sellout. You're a sellout. Why am I a sellout? Trump didn't do nothing to nobody black.
Can I help with that? And
go ahead, knock yourself out.
Let me spit my fire. And hey, much respect. I want people to be able to spit their fire just like I spit my fire. But let me help you to understand that. In my book, there really isn't true racism. There's hatred of a hue or a color. And once you do that, then it's on the individual that is hating. When we start adding constructs as racism, it takes the one and multiplies them into a collective group. And you can never get away from it because it doesn't represent the totality of the situation because you're always clumping the whole, and not the whole is thinking of that type of construct. So the bottom line is we need to come to the table and understand, yeah, is there hatred of skin? There's colorism everywhere. But the bottom line is if we stop calling it racism and start understanding it does hatred of skin or hatred of color, then we can come to the table and realize, yeah, we know it's somewhat of a problem, but is it the main problem? No. The main problem is we got to put our families back together again, and it has to be at the forefront so we can move forward together.
100%, 100%. And I like what Sam Games is saying. So America should dominate other nations. When did I say that? I never said America should dominate anybody. But you know someone doesn't have a logical or rational argument when they argue against things you never said. I never said that. I said America put belt to ass. America showed how many light years we are ahead of the competition. And now everybody is scared. Where in that did I say America should be dominating anybody? America should do what America did. Let them know, look, you think shit is sweet, but if we really wanted to, we can knock your ass out the park. It won't even be close. Let me read these super chats real quick.
Go ahead.
Shout out to my boy Search for Uhuru for the $5 holla. Trump 2028. yeah, that. The Jughead, thank you, my brother from across the pond, for the 20 pounds. Trump should let Israel fight their own battles. Iran correctly gave Israel a bloody nose. Israel is like Mike Tyson. They can dish it out, but they can't take it. Laugh out loud, MAGA first. Love and respect, Brandon from the UK, bruh. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. And my brother comes back again. No, Brandon, the U.S. is the bully. Biff from Back to the Future. China is Kung Lee. Sanshu Master. Russia and China are afraid of the U.S. the way a lion is afraid of a dead carcass. Laugh out loud. Jughead, my brother, you are definitely my brother, but I have to disagree with you there. The United States is like Schwarzenegger in Commando. It ain't even close. Kicking ass and taking it. The United States is like John Wick. It ain't even close. Wrecking shit, bro. Gonna get you in the fisticuffs and gonna get you in the with the gunfight. I just have to say, but it's nice that you guys are sympathizers of China and Russia. They sure as hell won't sympathize with you. That's for sure. There were people who sympathized with Hitler. You know what I'm saying? So you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm looking at the facts and I'm looking at China and Russia. And to me, it looks like they're hoping that the United States don't like the United States Debo right now. You want some too, old man? No, like that's China and Russia. Maybe if we be real still and be real quiet, they won't come for us. Type situation. I honestly think that Israel will give China a run for its money if they got into a real conflict. I honestly think Israel, with the backing of the United States, will give China a run for its money. You got to do your research on the Chinese military. They're not really formidable like people think. Go ahead, Jughead.
Brother, what's up, bro? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
What's up, bro? Bishop, what's up, bro?
You got some background noise.
Yeah, what's good?
I'm in a cafe, man. So I'm in a cafe right now.
Oh, you about to get put out the cafe. Because I know you about to say something incendiary.
No. I'm calm. I'm calm, bro. You been okay? You still been okay?
I've been good.
Good. Yeah, man. I mean, what's going on with Middle East? You know, I mean, it's harsh, man. But hopefully now, cool heads will prevail, man, because the bombs have stopped, have simply subsided. Let's calm down, have a cup of tea and biscuits, and chill out, man. What's up? You know what I mean? Calm down, have tea and biscuits, and just talk over like civilized people. What's going on, man? All this bombs and shit, man.
I agree with you. Everyone needs to calm down. And sometimes when I see these people like cheering a United States failure or, oh, look, the ceasefire, it's like I look at them and like, do you guys want a war? And really, they do want a war because these people are losers who got nothing better to do.
Exactly. So,
Nobody who wants to be successful or who is working towards a goal wants a war. The only people who cheer for war are people who don't have passports. They ain't going nowhere. I travel all the time. I don't want a war. I don't want to risk my plane getting shot down as collateral damage in a conflict.
exactly.
But the losers love violence because they got nothing else to keep themselves entertained. Go ahead, Bishop.
Yo, man. Hey, I'm just like that. Y'all spitting fire. Hey, let me sit back and eat my gumbo. Go ahead, man. Because
No,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think there's a lot of soul wound buys and ties that are playing in a lot of people, and they don't understand the totality of what we're currently what we're currently dealing with, and understanding that hey, it's time to us to make sure that pop and then get out and make sure we stand our ground. This ain't about prolonged stuff. This is about Mike Tyson it, come in, give that right upper cross and uppercut and get out.
No, 100%. Get him out of there with that left hook in the first round and keep it moving. Like I don't think the United States under Trump is a country that wants to be bogged down with any conflict. That's why you see Trump dropping F-bombs. I don't know if you guys heard the F-bomb Trump dropped. It was a bit shocking, but he had to show them he's not playing. And they keep saying, oh, Netanyahu's controlling Trump. Nobody controls Donald Trump. Trump is his own man.
Yeah, President, I like it. I like the F bomb. You know why? It shows authenticity. No more BS. Man. I like disagree. I like the F bomb. Authenticity. No more BS. Fake politicians.
I love it. Go ahead.
So
I love the F bomb too because it's like Trump is so real, bro. He's just being him. You know, I like his transparency. He didn't deny that they broke the ceasefire, but he also called out Israel. He said Israel, they both broke it. He could have just blamed it all on Iran. He could have said, oh, it's Iran. They did it. No, that's what presidents in the past would have done. Trump said, no, they both did it. And he was disappointed with both of them because they're both acting like children, trying to get tit for tat. But when it comes down to who do I think is wrong, ultimately, I have to fall on the side where that Israel is wrong. Because if Iran launched a missile, it was one singular missile and it did not land. It was intercepted. Why do you then release a barrage of missiles onto Tehran?
Because they saw the opportunity.
Right, exactly. They were like, yo, you stepped on my shoe, I'm gonna punch you in the face. They did this type of thing. And in Israel, they're petty as hell. I get that. But at the same time, when you got the United States on your side and you've already, 430 people died in Iran compared to just 28 people in Israel, and they took out a dozen high-ranking Iranian military officials. Bro, you can just sit back and relax. Even if they do throw one missile at you, intercept it and say, see how they keep trying to come at me? Israel was just being petty, bro. They saw an opportunity, like you said, and they seized on it. They got to be better than that. But I have no belief. Like, you're a Jewish person. Do you think that America is Israel's proxy, or do you think it's the other way around?
Well, the bottom line is you got to understand the foundation of our war with Iran has been going on, and I think a lot of it has to do with they're still trying to hold up stuff that's been back in the day that they had nothing to do with, but now that they're in power, they're still allowing it to dictate how they operate. Let's be honest. It's a pissing contest.
Zeb Bates. No, Trump was running with the narrative of Iran's the problem. Listen, Zeb, Iran is the problem. As much as you guys say Netanyahu's a Zionist, yeah, he is. And the Ayatollah is a radical Muslim Islamic extremist. So I don't get this. It's like saying the Joker is worse than Two-Face. Dude, they're both doing crazy shit. They're both, well, I would not say that the Zionists want the total annihilation of America. And because I happen to live in America, I happen to prefer them over the country that's like, we want to destroy America. I live in America. So why would I want to support a country or even sympathize with a country that calls for the obliteration of the country where I live? It is only in that regard that I take the side of Israel. They're the ones not chanting death to America. Go ahead, Mr. or Jughead.
Oh, Brandon, I agree. I concur with that assessment. That's a very clear assessment. But Brandon, since 51, you just interfered with Iran's politics. When they moved Mossadegh in 51 and put in the Shah, they messed with Iran for the last 6 decades. I mean, I'm not saying what they did is right, obviously, because China that went into a big bully is not suicide. It's, you don't look. I don't go to Brock Lesnar and threaten him. That don't make sense. You know what I mean? You don't threaten Brock Lesnar. You know,
Right.
unless you're ready for a whoop apple. You don't do that. But at the same time, Brock Lesnar's bullying you. You got to defend yourself. But it's not clear. I mean, it's not straightforward. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. You can say that Israel is a bully, right? You can say that. But at the same time, you have to understand Iran is not making it any better. They're doing shit too. They're agitating as well. So while I understand how Iranians feel about Israel, it's like, is you funding Hamas, Hezbollah, and all these different groups, is that helping the situation? Because if you sued the UN for peace to stop Israel, you have the whole world behind you to stop Israel. But when you wake up in the morning before you sip your coffee, you're screaming death to Israel and death to America, you're not helping your position. When you're giving money to terrorist Houthis and Hamas and Hezbollah and other terrorist groups who are hurting innocent people, you're not bringing people to your side. Judy Jones, there's no need for me to read the Zionist manifesto or whatever that's called, because I understand what Zionists believe. But what I'm telling you is, if Michael Myers is in the room trying to kill someone, I'm not about to sit up and say, don't call the police, because police be killing innocent black people. I'm going to say, call the police. Me and the police going to deal with Michael Myers. And then once we done getting rid of him, then we can deal with each other.
Call the popo.
Exactly. Call the popo.
No,
That's what everything is not. Black folks love to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And I'm just never going to do that, because I understand that gets you nowhere. Go ahead, Bishop.
No, I was just saying, you got to understand the foundation that a lot of this has been played out of is that you got two entities that has been at each other's throat for eons. So it's like it's built up deal, but what Trump is trying to do is assert and say, okay, enough is enough. After a while, you got to see that if we keep fighting wars, none of our people can ever flourish and gain affluence and have inheritance and legacies. So in order to do that, you got to assert, come in quick, but try to get some semblance of ceasefire, because it's the people, it's not the regimes, it's the people that need an opportunity to gain a footing. They're tired of living underground, because a lot of those buildings up top are just shells of stuff, and there's a lot of people living underground. So that's why we have to understand and do our research, so we understand what's going on, so that way we can move forward and make sure that we do what's necessary to make sure that people, the actual people, is accounted for and they have a voice.
Yeah, and ultimately, the adults are back in the room. The adults are back in control. And even in our community, I like to see the adults we're taking the reins. A lot of people, even in the comments, are just childish. They don't care about this really. They just hate America. And so anything America does, they're going to criticize it. But are they going to move out of America? Would they ever live in these places that they're defending? Of course not. Somebody just posted, oh, Israel is funding all types of crazy stuff. Well, that's not hurting Americans. That's not putting my daughter in jeopardy. These people are the biggest hypocrites. The people who hate the cops, but as soon as they're in trouble, they're calling the cops. Like women who spit and curse out the police, but as soon as their boyfriend hits them, that's the first person they call. I'm just not going to do that. And if that means you got to be mad at me and you hate me and I don't like Brandon, who cares? I don't care. Because being around people like you guys, it's like torture. I got to be walking on eggshells so I don't offend you. And in that way, the white liberal has brainwashed the African or Black American, where they've taught you guys that if someone doesn't agree with you on every single thing you think or believe, now that person is your enemy. If you walk around looking like that, you're stupid. Because you don't like your boss at your job, but you still could give them yes, sir, no, sir, and you do your job. You don't like your neighbors, you still live next to them, right? I am not going to rest on an ignorant position to make you happy. You are more than welcome to come up here and explain your position, but I have my position. And you're mad because it doesn't agree with your position. If I had to pick one country to leave intact and one country to get rid of, I would choose Israel to stay, because they're not trying to kidnap Americans, and they're not chanting death to America every day. I'm not going to get freaking hurt or killed to make you happy. And then someone says, oh, take the Pan-Africanness out of your name. Newsflash, dummy. Iran ain't in Africa. Newsflash, idiot. Israel ain't in Africa. So being a Pan-Africanist has nothing to do with support of Israel or Iran.
Brother, I come in.
Go ahead.
So that Middle East is Africa. That Middle East was called by the British. That somewhere down there is Northwest Africa. It is Africa.
But those people are not Africans living there.
That's right, they're invaders. But that's another story.
Okay. So yeah. So what I'm saying is, these people have nothing to do with Pan-Africanism. But you guys, one side of us worships the Arab slave master. The other side of us worships the white slave master. I'm not worshiping either one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fall down on the side of the slave master that allows me to do whatever the hell I want to do. And that side is Trump. Because if the Ayatollah come into Africa, everybody getting enslaved and subjugated under Sharia law. Whereas Donald Trump is like, I don't give a damn what they're doing over there, really. Trump just brokered a peace deal between Congo and Rwanda. Y'all hate Trump, but even indirectly, Trump is furthering the cause of Pan-Africanism. Am I wrong? Jughead, am I wrong? Did Trump not just broker a peace deal between Rwanda and Congo?
I heard that, yeah. Trump is far better than Kamala. If Kamala got in there, it'd be a disaster. If Kamala and that pedo, that Joe Biden, that semi-retarded vegetable, had stolen it again, like stole it in 2020, we World War III by now. So Trump is definitely a far better option. That's without a doubt. Without a doubt. Africa concur there. But, yeah, I mean, what can I say? I mean, with gritted teeth, yes.
So now you can go travel to Rwanda if you want to. You could travel to Congo if you want to, without having to worry about getting killed or caught in the middle of Rwanda Congolese aggression. Right here, Ask AI. Yes, Trump has announced that he brokered a peace deal between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. What's wrong with that? You guys hate Trump because you love death, violence, and confusion. That's why your neighborhoods look the way they look.
Brandon, Nigeria is a black Trump. Nigeria should be the black Trump. Nigeria, that's what we need.
Yeah, Nigeria needs a black Trump. You ain't lying.
We need 10. One won't be enough. Nigeria's so effed up. One won't be enough. We need 10. Nigeria's so fucked up. One won't be enough. Black Trumps.
So right, for real. Somebody Sam Games said, you have to make a choice, Brandon. I have made a choice not to be ignorant like you, Sam Games. I've made a choice not to be ignorant like you, Sam Games. You're ignorant. And the worst part is you're hateful. You can be hateful. You could be ignorant, but you can't be hateful and ignorant. Why would I go against Trump when everything Trump does benefits Africa? Everything Trump does benefits Africa. You lost. You wanted Kamala Harris to be a warmonger, an idiot. But the person really who allowed a bunch of Iranian terrorist cells into America, that's going to blow up you and your kids. I'm not playing with y'all about this stuff. Either you're going to do your research, you're going to understand what's going on, or you're going to look stupid. I'm not following with you. I'm not a follower. I'm a leader. If I follow you, I will be dumb. You can't go around making everybody the enemy. You get nowhere doing that. You get nowhere doing that. Trump brokered a deal, peace deal between between Rwanda and Congo. He has seemingly brokered a peace deal between Iran and Israel. And I have no issues with Trump over that. I'm still a Trump supporter because he's the only one doing the work, while everybody else seems to be benefiting from the chaos. Trump doesn't want chaos. He's not bending the knee to Netanyahu. He's not bending the knee to the Ayatollah. He ain't giving them no more money like Obama and Biden did. He's like, you're gonna get along, or I'm backing away from both you guys. Israel wants Iran gone. They want regime change in Iran. And if Trump wanted to, he could change the regime in an instant. But he's not doing that. He's not doing what Israel wants. He's doing what he thinks is best. And for that reason, you have to love Trump. Like, hey, he's his own man. Now, this is my question to you. Let's look at the Middle East real quick again. Let's look at the Middle East real quick. Damn near every country in the Middle East is at peace with Israel. There's really only one country that's still aggressing towards Israel. So let's look. Here's Israel, and I hope you guys can see this. Let me make it bigger.
We can see.
Okay, you guys can see it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So look. We have Israel right in the middle. Right here. If you can't see it, look at Egypt. Right next to Egypt is Israel. Egypt is at peace with Israel. They're partners now. Jordan is at peace with Israel. They're partners. Lebanon is at peace with Israel. Well, they got beef with Israel, but the Lebanese government doesn't have beef with Israel. The terrorist group Hezbollah within Lebanon has beef with Israel. Syria literally has billboards right now saying, thank you, President Trump, for brokering peace in that country, getting Assad out of that country, and now joining into trade agreements with the new leader of Syria. So they're loving on America. They're at peace with Israel. Saudi Arabia is at peace with Israel. Iraq, for the most part, is at peace with Israel. Kuwait is at peace with Israel. Qatar is at peace with Israel. The UAE is at peace with Israel. Oman is at peace with Israel. Yemen, obviously, they still beefing, but they're not actively attacking Israel or anything like that. You got one. Well, Yemen is technically at peace with Israel. It's just the Houthi rebels inside of Yemen got beef with Israel. The only country where the government is officially at odds with Israel is Iran. The question you have to ask yourself to not be a complete idiot is, Why do all these other countries get along with Israel, but Iran is just a holdout, still trying to have beef with Israel?
I can answer that.
Answer that, Jughead, loud and
Yes,
clearly for us.
I'm sure I'll slow down. So, in my rapid speech, I'm sure I'll slow down, brother. What's happened now is regime changes. What Israel held the greater Israel projects. Israel wants to expand its borders, which currently just small, to a greater geographical expansion, which is causing a rift of thought between Syria, Iraq, and Iran. Iran is the only one opposition to that greater Israel project. That's why there's so confliction between Israel and Iran. Iran stands in the way of the greater Israel geographic expansion. That's why there's beef between Iran and Iraq. Iran has correctly said, Israel, no, you can't expand anymore. You were there illegally for a start, now you want to take people's land? No. Iran's saying no. What it is a greater Israel project. Israel wants to expand its borders to its current small location to a greater portion of the Middle East. That's where the friction comes from. Greater Israel project.
Here's the thing. All these other countries are around. They see everything that's going on. They see what's going on. But with the Palestinians, what people don't know, and I still got to do this video, many of these countries around tried to help the Palestinians. Many of these countries, I believe, including Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and I want to say Syria, allowed Palestinians to come into their country and gave them citizenship, a lot of them citizenship. What did they do? They started civil wars in these countries. So at the end of the day, Palestinians are kind of like a dog that bites, right? You might feel sorry for it. You might want the best of it, best for it, but you're not going to let it in your yard because everyone who has allowed the Palestinians into their yard has gotten bitten. So I don't fault these other countries for not wanting, to allow the Palestinians in. It's just the reputation that they've made for themselves. You don't enter into a country and within 10 to 12 years pick up arms, become militant, and start a civil war in that country. When that happens, that causes countries to allow you to sit in your open air prison called the Gaza Strip. They might feel sorry for you, but they're not about to let you back in. This is the reputation Palestinians have built for themselves. It's no one's fault but their own. Life of Energia. I'm just joining, but hope all is well. Don't forget that one of Trump's uncles was a professor studying nuclear power, I believe. Maybe one day look into that. I'm sure that he learned a lot from him. Shout out to Life of Energia. $10. Thank you for the $10 holler. Guys, please don't be afraid to contribute to the stream. We have Super Chat available. We have Cash App available. We have PayPal available. All the links are pinned to the top of the screen. Our video is probably already demonetized because I showed those fight scenes from those Bushido masters pretending to use chi to beat people up. And I would rather depend on the audience than you to ad revenue dollars. That keeps us honest and that allows us to say what we want to say. But I'm telling you guys, this situation in the Middle East is way more complicated than many of us want to give it credit for. You may think you understand it. Oh, it's as simple as this or that. Nothing about this is simple. On top of that, the past is great, but we're living in the present right now. And you have to operate based on the present. You can't live in the past. And presently, Iran is screaming death to America. Presently, Iran is trying to get a nuclear weapon. Presently, Iran is ruled by a radical Muslim, radical Islamic cleric who is old, he's angry, and he's ready to kill innocent people to further his cause. And he has to be stopped. And honestly, I don't care who stops him. right? I don't care who stops him. Beyond that, any last points? Any last points, Jughead, that you might want to bring up?
Yeah, my friend. I'm glad Trump's there because I said between Kamala and Biden it would have been a disaster. So Trump's the best man currently right now. That's beyond the shadow of a doubt. But as you know, I'm a Linda LaRouche man and a Ron Paul. If I was African American, you know, I love Linda LaRouche. And also I'm a Ron Paul man. If I were those who I voted for, other than Trump. No, not Biden or Obama or Hillary. No way. But of the three, Trump's the best man currently right now. But yeah, I mean, it is complicated. It's not straightforward, Brendan. You're right. Hopefully, peace will prevail, or see some kind of lack of kinetic, kinetic energy, kinetic firepower. Let's calm down and let's try and move forward. You know, prosperity. That's what I mean. Prosperity, prosperity, prosperity. That's what we want.
Facts. Thank you, my brother. Facts. Appreciate you.
Respect.
Yeah, prosperity. Do you want to be successful, or do you want to be right, or do you want to be, do you want to feel benevolent because you're sympathizing with everyone? Look, dude, you can sympathize while still standing up for what's right. It's like someone who turns their own kid in when their kid commits a crime. A lot of you think, you guys were telling me that Carmelo Anthony was right. Well, we got the video now. No one even touched him. Do you hear any black person saying, you know what, we were wrong, we apologize, we were wrong, we were lied to? No, because you're the type of people, a lot of our people are the type of people who will steal something if they believe they won't get caught. They'll do something as long as they know they won't get caught. You lack integrity. Me, I'm the type of person, if I know something's wrong, even if I know I'm not going to get caught, I still won't do it. Why? Because I have integrity. And if for any reason I am caught or somebody, finds out what happened, I want people to say this guy could have done the wrong thing and got away with it, but he chose to do the right thing. That means a lot to me. You guys should give yourself more credit and stand on something for once in your miserable existence. Go ahead, Bishop.
Man, I hear you loud and clear. Listen, everybody, understand for eons, we swept stuff underneath the rug and we wouldn't come to the table and face it head on. So now it's a full-fledged devil. It's time for us to come to the table. Yes, there's been hurt on both sides. There's been stuff done that deals with soul wounds. Great. Let's be honest and open. Okay, great. How do we bring resolution to a situation that needs to end in order for us to move forward and heal? That's all I ask. Is like, right now we got bigger fish to fry, and the key is anything that comes about, it needs to be dealt swiftly and quickly, so that way we can get back to what's really important, and that is making sure that we make sure that everybody's voice can be accounted and have value. Period. Point blank.
No, 100%. 100%. Thank you so much for coming up.
Oh, not a problem.
Okay. Day in, day out. Brandon can't be honest, though. I'm being 100% honest. Day in, day out, I'll give you $100. I will send you $100 on Cash App right now if you can come up here and tell me one thing I lied about today. And we could fact check it using AI. The link is in the comments. I'll give you 2 minutes to come up. If you can tell me one thing I lied about today, a single freaking thing I lied about, I will give you $100. Before all 137 people that are watching this video, I will give you $100 via Cash App if you can name a single thing that I lied about today. A single freaking thing. Or even where I let someone off the hook for something they did. I told you I felt like Israel was wrong to unleash that barrage of attacks on Iran. They've already won. All right. Here we go. You lied about the Palestinians being dogs. Laugh out loud. I compared them to a dog that bites. Never said they were dogs. But that's what I'm saying. Guys, this is the Show Me channel. Show me, prove to me where I lied. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Show me where I lied. I got 100 on it. This morning, take your ugly fat wife to breakfast with the 100 that I'm going to give you. Oh, wait, you can't. You can't. Because all you can do is throw shit out and hope somebody agrees with you. Someone as ignorant as you grabs a hold of it and agrees with you. I ain't backtracked on a single thing. Show me where I backtracked, Zeb. I'll give you the 100. Come up here. Here's the link. Show me where I backtracked. Because if there's anything I don't do, I don't backtrack. I'll give you the 100. Show me where I backtracked. I hope your girlfriend is watching this with you so she can say, baby, get up there and get that 100. I need my nails done. I need my hair did. He did quit No Jumper. That's what Adam announced last night. He said he quit No Jumper. Whether he went back to being on No Jumper is a whole nother issue. But as far as I know, he quit No Jumper. That's what Adam announced. Now, if Adam lied, then he's a liar. But Adam announced last night, young 607 Unk quit No Jumper. I can prove it. The thing is still up. But hey, guys, the people who are earnest and sincere in the chat, I want this to be an example to you. You have people in our community, whatever you define that to be, right? No matter what you define that to be, who they love lies, they traffic in dishonesty and deception. They don't tell the truth. They would rather lie because it makes them feel good. Then tell or talk about the uncomfortable truth. I'm not one of those people. I mean, I don't like that. I don't like the feeling that gives me. Let me see. Let's see if we can get Adam's story. Oh, he's here at 4 today. So, but Adam said he quit. Let me see if I could, it could just be a play. Okay, let me see.
Hey,
Doing, bro.
I see these videos. Y'all be like, move to Texas. I ain't moving to that shithole. These places look like crap. It look like a bunch of Negroes who ain't got nothing to do.
so I just got off the phone with 607 Unk, and he no longer wants to be part of No Jumper. This is like the most unpredictable dude I've ever met in my life, because I thought that he was just like down for all the bullshit. But I guess when 4Extra told him off camera that he was going to kill him, he took it as like a bad omen on some like witchcraft or voodoo or whatever the fuck his religion thing is. So he's saying that he's no longer on the Tuesday show. So tomorrow, I don't know. I'm still honestly going to keep trying to get him to pull up, just so we can at least maybe have like one final conversation on camera before he rides off into the sunset. But yeah, this has been a very hectic couple of weeks, and there's part of me that wants him to stay, and there's another part of me that is just like, okay, get the fuck out of here. You're a little too much. So I just wanted to let you guys know.
All right, I'm hitting up Adam.
Now they do be sleeping on my dog.
Hey, she a boss, I get no dick up on the. Hey, put a mirror on my.
I just asked Adam, did Unc quit or not? So if he's up, he'll respond. But right there, you just heard him say Unc quit. So how is that a lie, bro? Like, y'all will never get this $100. That's how dumb you are. Not my day ones, the ones I love, and the people who got sincere hearts. But the guys, I don't need to lie. There's no reason. Listen, there is zero reason to lie on the internet. You are who you are. You're not. You know, that's all you can be. You can only be who you are. Anybody who lies on the internet to try to make themselves out to be something they're not, they're just disgusted. There's no way I'm going to lie on the internet. The internet ain't paying me enough to lie. But I asked Adam. He might respond before I shut this off. But either way, we will come back this evening. We will talk about Unc and whether or not why he decided to quit. Whoa, wait. Brought up there being security there. There was no interview questions. And Adam pulling out on him. Whoa, what is this? Okay, let me see. 4 Extras was doing an interview with Adam in 607. 607 feels backdoor because Adam pulled out the day before this said it would only be him doing the interview now. 4 Extras threatened him. 607 brought up there being security there. There was no interview questions and Adam pulling out on him. Okay, but there's always going to be security when you got gang members and shit up in there because 4 Extras, I think, came with a bunch of people. Listen, man, 607, you Crip, you this, you that. Listen, man, you can't be, Munchie B is blind. He ain't even acting like a scary ass bitch like Unc is acting right now. Come on, bro. This is what I keep telling y'all. People could say whatever they want. I'm a Crip, I'm a Blood, I'm a this, I'm a that. And we gonna get to this in the end this evening. But niggas be claiming gangs and they don't even know what it means to be from a gang. I'm gonna leave it there. Dudes be claiming gangs and don't even know what it means to be from a gang. Ain't no way in hell I'm gonna be acting more scary than a dude who blind. Can't see nothing, can't see a hand in front of his face. But he carries himself with more courage and poise than you. I mean, dude, you ugly as hell. Just scare him off with that ugly ass face. But there ain't never in life have I seen someone that damn ugly be that damn scary. You talk that shit with Munchie because he's blind. You got away with it. Now, other gangsters in the room are letting you know, don't try that shit with me, and you're scared. That's what this is about. I'm not going to be at No Jumper today. That's all I'm saying. Shout out to Adam53 for becoming a member. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm being real with y'all. How did he get backdoored? The 50 dudes didn't just. Why would you need 50 dudes for someone who looks anorexic? I don't know. Facts. I don't know. But dude, you don't need 50 dudes to beat up 607 Unc. He's tiny and he looks kind of disabled. We're gonna talk about it this afternoon when I get back. It is what it is. They're going at 4. I might actually do it before 4, before they go on. So just be ready. Okay. I'll get my graphic designer on the thumbnail immediately. But yeah, dude. Nobody, look, he just got scared. Munchie B didn't quit when he was calling him the S slur. But I'm quitting you to listen, bro. The day somebody needs to backdoor somebody like 607 Unc is the day the world ceases to exist. 4 extras them roll up there deep. That's what they do. Mostly because they homies want to go see No Jumper and be up at No Jumper and do this type of thing. That's what this is about. As far as everything else, I don't even like, who cares? I don't care if it's 100 dudes from another gang or hood or whatever. I'm not letting that affect me. I'm going to walk right up in there and do my job and walk right out. If you don't like it, bring a gun. But yeah, I'm Crip, I'm Blood, I'm fighting G Violate. Yeah, that shit don't work. That don't work everywhere. That might work on small minds, but that don't work on people who really about they cripping. 4 extras was in there damn near ready to cry, telling you about his cripping. You don't understand. People have lived and died for this shit. This is all they got. They ain't got no 401k. They doubled down on Crip and everything that comes with the death, violence, destruction, and the limited success. I would have fought who? Zeb Bates. Who would I have fought? 4 extras didn't do nothing to fight, just for someone to fight him. Saying he would have caught him and he would have did this and would have did that. Unc should have said, nigga, you wouldn't have did shit. That's what I would have said, but no one's gonna say that to me. I'd have been like, nigga, you wouldn't have did shit. And if you was gonna do it now. Dude, I know dudes from the hood smaller than 4 extras who would have said that. 4 extras couldn't have did that to TF Third. And he's little, just like Unc. But also, TF Third is not going to be disrespecting LA gang members like Unc was doing. I'm giving y'all a whole show. I'm out of here. I'll see y'all later. Y'all want to hear the rest? Tap in.